From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday here on LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. As Bernie Sanders' staff tells viewers of this channel again and again today, there will be a fourth stimulus IRS check. I have the latest detail in this big recording. Then we cut to the first 645 pages of that reconciliation budget bill. And guess what? There's lots of checks in there. I'm going to go over all these incredible checks. $4,000 to care for the elderly. MSCs of $51,000 over 18 years. Checks to fix your home. Checks to buy a car. Checks to buy a bike. Checks to go to school. That's just the first 645 pages. It's what I call cluster number one. Then we'll cut to the big money. That's in cluster number two. An additional 12 checks, which includes $1,700 to stay home if you have to stay home because of work, money to rehab your home due to weatherization, and other checks including ways to get a new education, all picked up by the federal government. Then in cluster number three, more checks that include checks for seniors, workers, and medicine, free internet. Oh my goodness. And then, of course, the breaking news that there will be another $3.5 trillion of checks coming to the American people for rent under third stimulus. Where did that come from? I had the breaking news of that, and then the world exclusive. As Senator Bernie Sanders' staff tells Donnie that there will be a stimulus check, tells Gina that there will be a stimulus check, and tells Carolyn today there will be a stimulus check. And then this surprise that came out of nowhere, that Ron Wyden's office says they're trying to put SS200 in there as well. OMG, I have all the incredible breaking news, the world exclusives. This is a big noontime. This is the recording you want to see, and this is Noontime LALATE. I killed it again. You know what? You can't be perfect. Cue the music. Hey, good morning, everybody. A good noontime. Hope you're having a beautiful day across the land. I hope the weather is good where you are. Jump in the live chat and tell me how the weather is. It is cold. It is cold here in Santa Monica, California. Weather is cold weather. Winter is upon us, and it's sweater weather in September. I'm loving it. I'm about to shiver on you. But boy, there's so much exciting news as we go into a big noontime. That first 645 pages of the reconciliation budget bill released to the American people, checks of all magnitude, hazard pay, MSCs of $51,000 over 18 years, checks to fix your home, checks to buy a car and a bike. I have all the incredible details. Then in the second half of the second cluster is more checks for weatherization of your home to fix your home, checks to put money on the table, checks to buy things across the board like we never saw. Then in cluster number three, money for seniors, money for workers, money for free internet, money for cheaper prescription medication. And then out of nowhere, the Purple Hawks have been stepping up and doing God's service. Let's look and see the world exclusive details you're seeing on this channel. Here we go. Donnie confirmed that there's a stimulus check. Tina being told there's a stimulus check. And Carolyn being told Senator Sanders is putting in a stimulus check. And then the shocker that no one saw coming from Yaya, a potential addition of SS200. Oh my goodness. Plus the $3.5 trillion, $13 billion that are landing in your cities and counties and states today for rent from third stimulus. It's a big noontime. And this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Coming up next is 1 o'clock's afternoons LALATE, then 3 o'clock afternoon, and then evenings. And if you've seen it, a new slate of programming on the hour, every hour, a show at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 11 o'clock at night. So subscribe. I want you part of this incredible family that got Americans a second stimulus check in the second stimulus package and now is fighting to get that fourth IRS check in there as well and make history once again. Hit that subscribe button, and thank you for making the last 3 days the biggest subscriber growth viewership on this channel in 3 months. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's cut right into that first 645 pages of the reconciliation bill with those checks of all magnitude. Starting with the first item, let's go over them, broad stroke, and then the specifics. Checks for hazard pay, checks to rehab your home, checks for bikes, checks for electric vehicles, including cars and trucks and also bicycles, money for students, money for families, $51,000 of it over 18 years. Then $4,000 to care for the elderly and more money like that. Let's get to the details, starting with hazard pay. Hazard pay is back on, baby, and everything in the fourth stimulus package is not COVID related. These are items that have nothing to do with COVID because these are lifetime changes to the tax code and the way the federal government operates. They're going to be making hazard pay a lifetime. It got it into the code initially for a short duration of a few years under third stimulus. Third stimulus modified an old tax code called the Earned Income Tax Credit by broadening the eligibility on both the age and the amount, making more people eligible to get that earned income tax credit if you're an essential worker. They also made the amount bigger. Well, guess what? They're taking this a lifetime. Yes. So if you are an essential worker and you work as an essential worker over the next few years, year in, year out, and you're eligible for this earned income tax credit, you will get it every single year. Item number two, check number two, is if you are at home and you're caring for an elderly person, this could be you. Upwards of $4,000 per year will be paid to individuals who care for the elderly, and up to $4,000 per year to individuals who care for children. This is a big addition that came from Representative Richard Neal out of nowhere. He's held at the House Ways and Means Committee. It was something I did not ever have in my radar. Incredible. Then, what about $51,000 over 18 years? MSC's on fire. Incredible. What are they going to do? They're going to make the provisions of third stimulus lifetime. If you're a parent of a child in a low-income household and you remain a low-income household over the next 18 years, you will get a check every single month of up to $300 a month every month for 18 years. That's $51,000 approximately per child over that duration. Incredible. How about college students? There's money in there for you as well. There is money for college grants directly to you, college grants to the university, and also the Pell Grant will be made tax-free. How about that home? There is money to rehab the home. If you live in a low-income community, there will be new incentives to fix up the home in a low-income community. Boy, the numbers keep on coming. And can we get some cars and bikes and trucks? We can. 15% of an electric bike you buy will be paid for by the federal government. It can be for pleasure, it could be for vacation, it could be for business. 15% for that new electric bike you buy will be picked up by the federal government. What about a brand new car? Yes, there are checks for cars. If you buy a new electric vehicle for pleasure, and it's from the number 3 auto manufacturers in the U.S., the federal government will pick up to $7,500 of that car's purchase price. Then, if you purchase the car for commercial purposes, same thing, maybe a little bit on the high end. And lastly, commercial electric trucks, yes, the same thing. Finally, if you're thinking about those import electric cars and Tesla, they're considering adding provisions for them in there in cluster number 2. So what's cluster number 2? What's cluster number 3? There are clusters after clusters of checks that are being proposed by the Democrats. Cluster number 2, which I'm going to go over in just a second, is 12 more checks. And in those 12 checks, those are Democrat checks that they've talked about day in, day out. They have not written into a bill format, but they're likely to reduce it to a bill format within the hour or within the day because these are items they've agreed to. They're going over just the numbers at this point. Cluster number 3 are items that the president has urged for, and he calls them non-starters. So he wants them in there. They're likely to get in there. They're going over the items about them as well. I'm going to cluster number 3 in just a second. But boy, the exciting details started yesterday. Over on third stimulus, when an additional $13 billion was announced from the federal government coming to you right today. What is this? $13 billion that we did not even know about is being sent out to your cities, counties, and states right away today, and starting all this week and next week for rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. Wow. If you live in a city, county, and state, and you've watched my recordings over the last few months, and you may have reached out to them, they said, sorry, we just ran out of money. Get that phone number, that place, and get ready to call them right after this recording and ask them, where is that $13 billion? Have you gotten it yet? Because they're going to get it 100% guaranteed in the next few days. Be first on the list. What's at issue? The federal government under third stimulus dedicated $48 billion to your cities and counties and states, but didn't send all the money out. They sent out 25, then 9, and now they're sending out another $13 billion today. Department of Treasury made the wonderful announcement. Treasury is happy to provide these state and local governments with the additional resources to help Americans with rental assistance. More about that exciting news in a second, but let's cut back to that first 645 pages and more about it. Why 645 pages, and what are these 645 pages? These are the first 645 pages of what would be a bill potentially of 8,000 pages that are agreed upon. Who agreed upon it? Democratic senators and Democratic House members. That's all you need. How do they agree upon it? Behind closed doors, not on broadcast media, not on C-SPAN, not on TV, not on the Senate floor, not on the House floor, on the phone or in their offices saying, do you agree upon this? Yeah, I do. Do you agree upon this one? Yeah, I do. Okay, go write it up. And they wrote it up. These are the first 645 items they easily agreed to. They said, go write it up. They're now part of what would be the final bill. Cluster number 2, I'm going to show you a second, are the next items they're going to agree to as well. But I know you're wondering. Let's go to the exciting details. I broke you the exciting details nearly 5-6 weeks ago when WR, a long-time viewer of this channel, got confirmation from Senator Chris Coons, that's C-O-O-N-S, Democrat, Delaware, that he was going to put a stimulus check monthly in the fourth stimulus recon for you. I told you to push and call all your senators over the last 8 weeks. Have you? Well, Brother Joshua did about 2 weeks ago and got confirmation from Senator Sanders' office that they will be giving you a monthly stimulus check. But here's the breaking news you're hearing, world exclusive, not breaking news, world exclusive you're hearing on this channel right now. And boy, it's incredible. It starts 24 hours ago with Donnie, who picked up the phone and called Senator Sanders' office, advocating for a stimulus check. Not asking, but advocating. I called Bernie Sanders, and his secretary said they are doing a fourth stimulus check. And I said, this is what I need. My city needs it. I need it to progress. I need to secure my water and everything. I told her that, and she said, okay, there's going to be a fourth. That was yesterday. Late yesterday. In evenings at LALATE, Hurricane Tina wrote, I called Bernie Sanders' office and I told them, and I got through, and they said they're going to be putting another stimulus check in. And then just about an hour, 2 hours ago on Countdown Mornings LA today, Carolyn Smith in the live chat said, I called Bernie Sanders' office and talked to the secretary and told her we need help. I need help. Here are people losing their homes and what they got, and she said she agrees, and Bernie's also putting a stimulus check in there. There you go. More about that exciting world exclusive coming up in the second half of this recording, but I think it's time for cluster number 2 of those checks. Let's cut to the next 12 checks in the fourth stimulus recon for you as well. These are incredible checks because guess what? These are checks that you are owed, and these are checks that you want, and these are checks that you should get. Well, here we go. The first one is expansion of paid family and medical leave. What is this? Paid family leave? If you have to stay at home from work because your spouse is pregnant. Paid medical leave. You have to stay at home because your child has broken his leg. Remember, nothing in this recon is about COVID. This is about life in general. How much does it pay? A lot. How much was paid family leave under third stimulus proposed? $1,700 a week for an individual who makes over $75,000 a year. So let's split that in half. If let's say you make $30,000 a year, that's $800 a week. Split it in half again. Let's say you make only $15,000 a year. That would be $400 a week if you have to stay home from work because of family or paid leave, medical leave. Who pays it? The federal government would pay it to your employer, who would then reimburse you. Wow. Check number 2, building up of the child care programs. Checks number 3, extension of the household tax credit, including enhanced child benefits. Check number 3, expansion of Medicare benefits, including dental checks, vision checks, hearing checks, and reducing the Medicare eligibility age. More about that in cluster number 3. How about weatherization of your home? Yes, this is different than the check from earlier from cluster number 1. In cluster number 1, we saw checks to repair your home if you're in a low-income community. This one's weatherization of the home. So if you worry about hurricanes, tornadoes, fires, and want to weatherize your home, the federal government will pick up the check, will provide you checks for this as well. Wow. The numbers continue, like extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies, and then education. Free pre-kindergarten across the board. The federal government will pay for the for pre-kindergarten. And the next one I personally love, free community college. So many people say, what is he talking about? I don't understand LALATE. He just talks funny. Is it French he's talking? Yeah, it is French. So now you can go to the community college and learn and take the class called What the Hell is LA Talking About? It's What is LA Talking About 101. It's totally free. And yes, pardon my French. There you go. You do not have to get a degree in it. Just take a class on it. The next spot on the money is the checks for carbonization and green energy for your vehicles. Wow. This is cluster number 2. Again, these are items of checks that the Democrats want to get in there. They're finishing to get them to the finish line. Boy, what a day it has been. Coming up in a second, I'm going to show you the big money that's now available under third stimulus, money that we never saw before because of a $13 billion cash infusion from the federal government. We're going to go over why the nonprofits, which was a big hit from this channel, are now paying money again for rent, utilities, and food. Wow, this is a big shocker. And then we'll be cutting to why the equation of the senators going last in the voting path is great for us under forced stimulus recon. But I think it's time for some more checks. Let's go over some more checks. Let's go over cluster number 3. Here is cluster number 3. These are the checks that the president has asked for in the forced stimulus recon, and everyone believes they're getting in there. They're just going over the terms and conditions of them. Here are them broadly. After the commercial break, I'll go over how they work. Here they broadly. Checks for farmers, checks for elections, checks for free school meals for all, checks for tax breaks, checks for cheaper prescription medication, checks for clean energy, checks for workers, and checks for Medicare expansion, lowering eligibility age, dental, vision, and hearing care. Wow. After the commercial break, I'll go over what's happening with this incredible push of the Purple Power, how the Purple Power was able to make history in getting a second stimulus check in the second stimulus recon, and now is making history potentially again with your calls to the senators. I'll go over what's going on with Bernie and that IRS check. I'll be going over more about this third cluster and how automated it is, how you don't have to do really anything for a few of the items. Then I'll be cutting to the big money that's available now under third stimulus that may not have been there for you 24 hours ago. And then I'll be cutting to the additional sums of money that the nonprofits are paying for and also preparing for holiday gifts starting right now. So much happening in the second half of this video. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with the excitement details at noontime on LALATE. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. and then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now at noontime, live from Santa Monica as we go over all the incredible, exciting news about the IRS stimulus check. In the second half of this recording, we'll go over what Santa's office is telling viewers this channel. Then we'll cut to cluster number 3. More checks, including checks for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits. The big surprise of maybe Wyden wants to put the SS200 in for stimulus recon. Then we'll be cutting back to the big money that's available now under third stimulus, nearly $13 billion more. And then the big surprise as potentially the House would vote first and the Senate second, which is huge for you because this would be the biggest payout you could hope across the board. Meantime, if you haven't signed up for those LALATE alerts, please do so. I think the YouTube alerts are a little bit delayed at the moment today, so make sure you hit up for those LALATE alerts. So much happening, and boy, it's an exciting day. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Thank you for the last 3 days of being our biggest days of this for this channel in nearly 3 months. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video too, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. You're delivered daily from me to you a breakdown of all the big money available under first, second, and third stimulus, because there's a fortune of it. And with that, let's go right into the exciting details about that third cluster. Before the commercial break, we went over some of the items, but here are the automated items. Well, prescription medication would be instantly a savings to you. How would they do this? You would go to the pharmacy potentially on a Monday and pay $30 for a prescription. For example, this would become a law shortly thereafter. And then when you go back to refill, you pay a fraction of the price, let's say $10, a savings of $20 in your wallet. You don't have to do anything for this one. How are they doing it? They're slashing the preferred rates between the federal government and the pharmaceutical companies, so you immediately have a savings the next day. The free internet, also nearly automated. All you have to do is basically prove that you're a resident of that town, and this is how it's going to work. Federal government is going to be giving fortunes to your cities and counties and states so that you can have free internet. Once you confirm that you're a resident of the town, they'll give you the Wi-Fi and password and username, and away you go. It could be as easy as that. More about the next cluster potentially right after that, but let's cut over to third stimulus. Third stimulus is the money for rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage assistance that viewers are getting continually. But if you're one of those viewers that rarely, in a rare circumstance, picked up the phone and was told by 6 of 6 places I show you on this channel, sorry, we're out of money, that's now changed. Get those numbers ready, because I'm going to show you what's going on. We had so many inspirational stories come in the last 24 hours. We had Dragon. We also had Dean Miller, who got nearly $20,000 of rent. Dragon got almost $33,000 across the board. We had Lorica, Suelon, Patrice, and we had Jen, who got nearly $39,000, almost $40,000 of rent. But boy, I want to show you the money I want you to get. We're starting with rent, and I want to show you how the numbers on this channel have now gone up 300 to 400% in just a month. Let's look at the rent. A month ago, we were looking at rent at $20,000. Then we grew all the way up to $27,000. Well, Jen overnight got $39,000, almost $40,000 of rent. There you go, going from $20,000 to $40,000 in about a month. Then when we talk about utilities, we were at $5,000 about 2 months ago. Now, Mark, who you've met on this channel, he's the guy who got $51,000 from this channel, told his brother-in-law about this channel. And Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities. That is a growth of 300% for viewers of this channel in just a month. When we talk about Snap, we're at $5,000, then we went to $18,000. Are we going even higher? We are. Mark's brother-in-law got $21,000 of Snap, which will now be worth upwards of $26,000. More about that in a second. Let's go over the money you can get with new details you're seeing for the first time at New Time. Get that pen, paper, and cell phone ready. We can get some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners assistance starting right now. I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. Then I'm going to show you some other places to reach out to. And then I'll give you a big surprise across the board. All right, you ready? Here you go. You first want to reach out to the following 6 places. Reach out to all 6. They each have their own pot of money, and they all have different eligibility. Here are the 6 places. Your City Hall, your City House Authority. Your County Hall, your County House Authority. Your State Hall, and your State House Authority. Again, City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. Now, as I said earlier in this video, every place has different eligibility. You do not have to necessarily be behind in your bills. Also, if you reached out to a place in the last few weeks or months and they said, sorry, we're out of money, they are now getting a new cash infusion. 100% guaranteed. They may not have it today, maybe not tomorrow, but call them up right away saying, I heard that Department of Treasury is sending out another $13 billion to the states and counties. Did you get it yet? I'd like to be first in line. Next, I want you to reach out to all your utility companies because each utility company, you want to do the same thing. Utility assistance because of COVID. Finally, a big surprise. I did not see this coming. 3 days ago, I brought back the nonprofits on this channel. And I said, I don't know if they still pay. They paid a lot to viewers of this channel in 2020 and early 2021 for rent, utilities, food, and mortgage assistance. Well, yesterday, one viewer jumped in the live chat and said, LALATE, you brought those back 24 hours ago. I immediately called United Way. They said no one's calling for rent. I'm first in line, and they think I'm going to get approved. There you go. What are the nonprofits? Here they are. United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. That's United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. You can always replay this video if you ever want to hear a section of this video. The great news is that I have brought back a lot of your favorite shows, and among them is Purple. The title's purple, and the show's image is purple. It's every night at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on this channel. You can go watch last night's show. It's currently archived on the channel. It covers the nonprofits and covers other nonprofits that are paid in states specifically. Watch that show. Next pot of the money is the money for SNAP. You get SNAP from Department of Agriculture. Reach out to them. Eligibility is easy than a stimulus check. How much does it pay? It pays a fortune. Mark's brother-in-law will be going from $21,000 to $26,000. Why? Here's something to clarify at noontime. A lot of you are getting letters saying your benefit lift for SNAP is ending. That was the executive order lift. That's over. The new lift is starting in October. It's an average of 25% lifetime automatically starting October. So you're going off of one and going on to another. And yes, Mark's brother-in-law will be sitting on top of $26,000 lifetime each year because of this channel. The next pile of money is a refund check coming back from your state to overpayment of unemployment benefits. It's landing either by direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Average payment for viewers has been $3,000, $5,000. Reach out to your state to track it. And the last part of the money is the refund check for the 2020 tax return. You paid taxes on your unemployment benefits. Margaret got it, Cotta got it, Michael got it. Refund amount is anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000. So much excitement. If you're in the live chat, post your success stories for rent, utilities, food, or internet you got. Post it right now because you inspire other people. Pick up the phone because every place has money. No longer a place or time to say, there's no money. Oh, yeah, there is. It's available right today. Pick up the phone. And I hope you sign up for those LA alerts so you don't miss a single video. The YouTube alert system is a little bit slow today, sending out alerts nearly 15 minutes late. So I want you to sign up for those LA alerts because you need to be first in line when there's money available. And as the first in line, let's cut to back to that recon with the exciting details of the IRS check. The IRS check heats up our final 15 minutes of this video starting right now. Well, I had told you nearly 8 weeks ago the importance of advocating for stimulus. At the time, some people were saying, there's nothing, there's no one, there's nothing, there's no one. I said, you pick up the phone and you start calling and advocating for stuff. And that's what WR did. WR is a longtime viewer of this channel. And he picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's old confidant. And WR advocated for a stimulus check. I want to tell you why I need it, why my family needs it, why my community needs it, why my town needs it. Made his story very clear and emotional. And the staffer from Senator Chris Coons said, yes, he is putting a monthly stimulus check in the fourth stimulus recon. There you go. That's what you do. You advocate. And that was a world exclusive several weeks ago. Coons, C-O-O-N-S. Should be on your list of people to call. But as we get closer in time, what happened the last 3 weeks? Well, the legislation you saw released early in this video, this first 645 pages, was for the reconciliation budget bill released from the House side. There's also a Senate Budget Committee, and who's the budget chairman? Bernie Sanders. 3 weeks ago, he said to broadcast media, unlike other budget chairmen, I like to get out amongst the people to see what's going on. What is he talking about? He means he wants to hear from you. He wants to hear you advocate for stimulus. So 3 weeks ago, I told viewers of this channel, pick up the phone and advocate for it. Pick up the phone and advocate for it. Advocacy of a stimulus check looks like this. I need it because this is what's going on in my family. My town needs it. This is what's going on in my city, in my church, my community, my business. I'll tell you what's going on. You're giving a humanizing situation. You're explaining what's going on so that they emotionally relate to it. You are not treating them like UPS tracking. You are not treating them like FedEx tracking tool. Where, when, how, who, when. No. You are advocating for it. They want to hear they want to emotionally connect with your story. So Lynn Glenn did, Barbara did, and Brother Joshua did 3 weeks ago. Picked up the phone and advocated for a stimulus check. He is a 2020 volunteer of the Commute page, Purple Hawk, and longtime viewer of this channel. Picked up the phone and advocated for you. And the staffer said in Bernie Sanders' office to Brother Joshua, yes, Senator Bernie Sanders will be giving you a monthly stimulus check. Yes, it'll be $1,000 to $1,400. Yes, that fourth stimulus check would be monthly. And yes, it'll go 3 to 6 months. But he needs to know that the American people has his back. He wants to ensure that you support him. And with that, we started. As WR said in one of the live chats, I believe it was yesterday's morning's countdown, a viewer had written in the live chat, I'm praying for a fourth stimulus check. He said, prayer's good. Calling on the phone is better. He's absolutely right. I said, pick up the phone and advocate. I need it because. My community needs it because. And guess what? Here's more world exclusives starting right now. It started 24 hours ago when Donnie, a longtime viewer of this channel, picked up the phone and called, and he got the following confirmation. This is what happens when you advocate. Donnie reports, I called Bernie Sanders, and his secretary said they're doing a fourth stimulus check. And that's what I said, what I need. I need it. My city needs it. I need it to progress, and I need it to lecture about my water, everything I told her. And she said, okay, they're doing a fourth. For the first time at noontime, here is the comment from last night that was revealed by viewer Hurricane Tina, Purple Hawk as well. I called Bernie's office. I got through, and they did say they were putting in another stimulus check. And guess what? Early this morning, just a few hours ago, Carolyn Smith in Countdown LALATE in the live chat wrote the following. I called Bernie Sanders' office and talked to his secretary, told her what we needed, help out. Here people are losing their homes and what they got. She said she agrees, and Bernie is also putting a stimmy check in there. And there you go. That's what advocacy does. We made history by getting a second stimulus check and the second stimulus recon. Now you can do it again. Pick up the phone and advocate. If you called one senator, make it a promise to yourself that you'll call another senator today. Who are the other senators you should call? Chris Coons, C-O-O-N-S, Elizabeth Warren, Chuck Schumer, and Ron Wyden, R-Y-D-E-N. These are people who are senators who have come on the record saying they're going to give you a stimulus check in the fourth stimulus recon. They need that push across the board. Now, here's a fascinating thing you're only going to hear on this channel. About 5 weeks ago, almost 2 months ago, I told you that I thought the lead authors on the reconciliation budget bill will be the House side. House subcommittee. We got that confirmation now in this first 645 pages, which were written by House Democrats. So who's going to vote first? Who's going to vote last? I'm predicting that the House will vote first on the reconciliation substantive because they're writing it. They're writing it. They vote first. They're going to pass in the blink of an eye. Then it goes over to the Senate. I love this. I'll tell you why. Because the Senate goes last. Senate Democrats getting a legislation from House Democrats, what do? They have a vote-a-rama, a 2-day vote-a-rama where they make changes. Democrats are not going to remove another Democrat's writing. They're not going to cut something out. They'll enhance the number or add something in. For example, hazard pay. I want to increase the hazard pay. Or the $4,000 to care for the elderly. I want to increase that number. Or the deduction for the money for the bike. 15%, I want 20%. They'll raise the number up. Or they'll add something totally in there additionally. This is why you have to push Purple Hawks with Warren, Wyden, Sanders across the board, because these are people who want you to have these items. And then if they do add other things, then it goes back to the House. And guess what? The House always will be happy to give you extra sums of money, so long as the senators do as well. Fifth stimulus? Let's turn to fifth stimulus now. So fifth stimulus is heating up because guess what? It's September to December. But we do have this strange twist, which I led with early in this video, from Yaya. Spoke to Ron Wyden, who is a senator, Democrat, and his staffer, who said they want to add the SS-200 in the fourth stimulus. The SS-200 in the fourth stimulus, not in the fifth stimulus? This is very, very peculiar. I don't know what to say about this, but let's go right into that fifth stimulus recon right now so you understand how it works. First, they'll raise your benefit limits up. Then they'll remove the asset limits, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. This SSRI reform is fifth stimulus. After this, they're likely to draft this by finality in about October-ish, be finished by October-ish, call for a vote and be out the door by November, and then the impact would benefit you starting in December for next year. How does this work? First, they're going to raise your benefits up lifetime. That's you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, or SSA. Next, they're going to apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. That inflationary benchmark is going up. A new series of reports today signals concerns about inflation. Among the new reports that came out just minutes ago is that there's several major tankers of cargo in the LA ports that they say they cannot unload for several months. This is huge for you. Why? Because the inability to get goods out of the ports, out of the airports, and into the stores is causing inflation. And they say that this inflation, this what they call supply chain problems, will cause inflation to go higher. If inflation goes higher, your benefits are going up a lot. First, they're going to raise your benefits up a lifetime, one time under this fifth stimulus. Then they'll apply the new benchmark. If the benchmark is high, that's what you're going to get lifetime. They apply that benchmark every December. I'm saying about 5%, which would mean you go up another 5%, not just next year, but a lifetime. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. They're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law. This is you can't have more than $3,000 on the hand. It's going to go away. Remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law. This is you can't work and stay on benefits. And the marriage penalty is going to go away. And you'll be able to do a pair dance at your own wedding and no longer fear a loss of benefits. You will no longer be penalized by the marriage penalty. Will there be a fifth stimulus check? There will be. The House Ways and Means Committee members represent. Finally, if you haven't signed up to be a Purple Hawk, what are you doing? You need to. Daily Purple Hawks are delivered from me to them. A breakdown of all the big money on the first, second, and third stimulus. Purple Hawks, Purple Powers, or Calcino VIPs. Become a member. The link is under the video. As soon as third stimulus was first announced, I started delivering the exclusives of what may be in that third stimulus package. And I said, pay attention because these are items you want to pounce and get first. Now these items are still paying. And this is why you want to subscribe, hit those LA alerts, and certainly become a member because the new cash infusion of $13 billion is an example. And additional sums of money for rent, utilities, and food. If you have not exhausted every last penny, go back and do it again because a lot of these funds will pay months further out if you got some months. Lastly, important to remember is that the holiday season's around the corner, and a lot of the companies, the nonprofits like Salvation Army, start doing the toy opportunities for you in September and early October. So contact them right now if you want assistance for toys right now. But consider becoming a member. The link is under the video, so you get delivered daily from me to you a breakdown of all the big money on the first, second, and third stimulus. And with that, let's go over a recap, because I know that's a lot on the video. Third stimulus, fourth stimulus, fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus likely to go for a final vote in November, raise your benefits up lifetime. Third stimulus already law, but another cash infusion of $13 billion ensures you can get money for rent, utilities, food, and internet absolutely across the planet, across the states. This new cash infusion happening as a result of an announcement yesterday. Reach out right away to get these sums of money. Get that rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage assistance. It's available for you right now. And finally, fourth stimulus. Exciting details. As the first 645 pages of what is an upwards of an 8,000 page bill is released, lots of checks in there for hazard pay, to checks to care for the adult, to care for seniors, for checks for children, to checks for bicycles, cars, vehicles, checks to fix your home, and even checks for an education. Cluster number 2 and 3, not yet written in bill format, likely to go into that bill format in the next few hours or days. Checks for seniors, checks for SSI and SSDI, checks for workers, checks for education, checks for weatherization of your home, checks to stay at home from work if you have a family member who broke a leg or got pregnant. Hopefully not both at the same time. And there you go. What a big day it is. And coming up next is Afternoons LA at 1 o'clock. This video will likely take you there. Then the next Afternoons LA, the new one, is at 3 o'clock. Then Evenings LA at 5. Then we have a whole new slate of programming at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11:30 tonight. You don't want to miss any money or any checks or any information across the board. So make sure you subscribe and hit up those LA alerts. Hit that subscribe button right now. I want you part of this incredible family. As we continue to make history, today is the day to make all those phone calls. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP, so you get all the information delivered daily from me to you from the community, from the YouTube alert system, and sign up for those LA alerts. Have a beautiful day. Don't get too cold if you're along the coast of Santa Monica, because it's freezing. And I saw someone said, send that cold weather to Florida. I will. Stay aboard, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.